The sky above Kara 9 was dark with approaching ships. Massive alien warships, black and silver, blocked out the stars as they descended toward the planet's surface. The Zalarians, known throughout the galaxy for their strength, technology, and ruthlessness, had come prepared. They had heard whispers of humans inhabiting Kara 9, a supposedly weak, fragile species. The word had spread quickly. The humans were primitive, underdeveloped, and easy prey. But no report could prepare the Xylarian warriors for what they would find. The first ships touched down on the rocky plains. The ground trembled as their landing engines dug into the soil, throwing clouds of dust into the air. From the ships, hatches emerged warriors taller than the largest trees on Kara 9, covered in thick, chitinous armor and wielding energy blades that could slice through metal like paper. Their eyes glowed faintly, scanning the terrain, cataloging every detail. They expected resistance, but it would be predictable, like the kind they had faced on other worlds. The humans, however, were not predictable. From the jagged cliffs surrounding the landing site, small groups of humans watched silently. They were not armored, nor did they carry energy weapons. Their clothing was simple, worn from years of surviving a planet that demanded toughness, strength, and cunning. Their eyes, sharp and observant, tracked the alien movements, and their muscles were honed not by machines, but by life itself. One human, a young woman named Lyra, crouched atop a rock formation, adjusting a rope she had tied between two cliffs. Beside her, two others carried baskets filled with food they had gathered earlier. To an outsider, it would have seemed mundane, even ordinary. To the Xylarians observing from above, it was the first sign of something incomprehensible. Zevter, the Xylarian commander, narrowed his eyes. His sensors detected nothing extraordinary. Yet he felt a subtle unease, a warning he could not ignore. He had been to thousands of worlds, conquered countless species, but something about Kara 9 unsettled him. "Prepare to advance," he ordered. His voice was a low growl. "These humans will not resist long." The first wave of Xylarian warriors moved down from the ships, their boots sinking into the rocky soil. The ground shook with each step, and the humans braced themselves, though not with fear. To the humans, this was routine. They had learned long ago that survival on Kara 9 demanded quick thinking, sharp reflexes, and a refusal to panic. The aliens' first attack was precise, calculated, and terrifying. Energy blasts shot from their weapons, scorching the earth and sending clouds of dust skyward. Many humans scattered, leaping from rocks and sliding down slopes with effortless agility. One human caught a falling child midair, landing softly on a rock ledge before turning to face the advancing Xylarians. Zevter stopped mid-step, his mandibles clacking in disbelief. The human's movements were lightning fast, coordinated with precision, and completely unexpected. "How," he hissed, "how can such a fragile being move like that?" The humans did not need weapons. Their planet itself was a tool, a shield, and a weapon. Rocks were rolled to block paths. Logs were positioned to topple onto advancing aliens, and narrow cliffs funneled the attackers into tight spaces where their size became a disadvantage. Each human moved with purpose, improvising, calculating, and reacting faster than the Xylarians could comprehend. A warrior charged toward Lyra, confident in his superior strength. Lyra waited, then sidestepped, grabbing a rope she had prepared earlier. She swung herself toward the warrior, using her momentum to strike him with a jagged rock. The impact sent him stumbling, and before he could recover, another human released a net made from woven vines, entangling him and pulling him off balance. Zevter growled in frustration. He had never seen a species so small and seemingly fragile turn ordinary objects into deadly tools. His warriors were strong, trained to kill, yet they hesitated. Some froze mid-step, watching humans leap, roll, and counterattack with moves that seemed reckless but always succeeded. One Xylarian warrior attempted to use a telekinetic weapon to lift a human into the air. The human did not panic. Instead, he dove to the side, using his environment to break the trajectory. The weapon's energy collided with a rock wall, causing an explosion that stunned several aliens nearby. The humans used the confusion to regroup, quietly moving as one coordinated unit, anticipating the aliens' next moves before the aliens themselves could act. Zefter's mind raced. In all his experience, no species had ever adapted so quickly, so creatively, and with such calm determination. He had expected panic, screams, and chaos. Instead, he found discipline, courage, and a frightening ease in life-threatening situations. Across the battlefield, another human, a man named Torin, spotted a group of aliens attempting to flank the humans. Without hesitation, he sprinted toward a cliff edge, grabbed a long vine, and swung across, launching himself directly into the middle of the aliens. His movements were precise, calculated, and terrifying in their efficiency. He rolled upon landing, grabbing two smaller humans who had followed him, and together they toppled a massive boulder onto the advancing aliens. The aliens were stunned. Their armor could withstand most weapons, but the humans' planet had become a force multiplier. Every rock, vine, and slope was a tool they could use without hesitation. They did not fear death. They used danger as part of their strategy. Zefter barked orders, but confusion spread among the Xylarians. Some had been injured by falling debris, others trapped by improvised nets and obstacles. The humans were moving too fast, too smart, and too coordinated. Even the aliens' most advanced weaponry seemed ineffective against beings who treated death as a routine challenge, not a threat. Hours passed, yet the humans did not tire. They seemed energized by the very chaos that would have overwhelmed any other species. Every human knew the terrain intimately, every hazard, every weak point. They adapted instantly, turning even minor setbacks into advantages. At one point, a group of humans had their path blocked by a collapsing cliff. Instead of panicking, they leaped from ledge to ledge, swinging from vines, using momentum to avoid falling. The aliens tried to pursue, but their size made them clumsy in the rocky environment. One warrior slipped, another became trapped in a narrow canyon. Zefter felt his confidence crumble. He had believed in Xylarian superiority, strength, training, and technology, but these humans had none of it in conventional terms. And yet they were victorious in every encounter, their movements seamless, precise, and terrifying. A young human girl, no older than 14, climbed a jagged rock to reach an alien sniper. Without hesitation, she dropped a large stone from above. It struck the alien's armor, creating a dent and causing the alien to stumble. She then leaped to safety, rolling on the ground to regain balance. The aliens froze, unable to comprehend how such a small human had executed such a complex maneuver with perfect timing. By nightfall, the Xylarian forces had suffered significant losses. Many warriors were trapped, injured, or disoriented. Zefter gathered the survivors to retreat, their confidence shattered. They had come to conquer a weak species, and instead, they had faced an opponent that made every trained skill irrelevant. Zefter looked across the battlefield, where humans stood calmly, tending to their wounded, repairing broken structures, and preparing for the next day as if nothing extraordinary had happened. He could not understand it. Every instinct told him they should fear, panic, or surrender, yet they moved with grace, courage, and absolute normalcy. They call this routine, Zefter whispered to himself, his mandibles clicking nervously. A routine. They survive this every day. How is this possible? The humans, meanwhile, did not celebrate. To them, this was another day on Kara 9. They had grown up in a world where death was common, survival was a constant challenge, and nothing was ever easy. They had learned to treat the impossible as ordinary, and this belief was stronger than any weapon, any armor, and any alien force. As the night settled over Kara 9, the humans gathered around small fires, sharing food, stories, and laughter. The Xylarians regrouped aboard their ships, shaken and silent, unable to comprehend how a species they considered weak could consistently defeat the strongest warriors in the galaxy. Zevter stared at the planet below, a cold realization settling in. These humans were not just survivors, they were masters of their world, capable of feats no alien could anticipate, and they had not even begun to fight seriously. For the first time in his life, Zevter felt fear, not for himself but for the entire Xylarian Empire. If this was only routine for humans, what other challenges would they overcome next? What unseen strengths did they possess, waiting to be revealed? And deep within the Kara 9 forests, the humans slept peacefully, unaware of the fear they had sown among the stars. To them, the Xylarians had been just another hazard, one that they handled as they handled every other challenge, with skill, courage, and the quiet knowledge that survival was simply part of life. By dawn, the landscape was scarred, but the humans had not faltered. Rocks were reset, paths cleared, and small repairs made to damaged shelters. Every movement was calm, deliberate, and routine. Zevter could not comprehend it, and he doubted he ever would. Kara 9 was not just a world of humans. It was a test of strength, intelligence, and spirit that no alien could hope to match. And the humans of Kara 9 would continue their daily lives, completely unaware that the galaxy had begun to take notice of their extraordinary abilities. The dawn over Kara 9 brought a calm that was almost deceptive. The humans moved quietly through the rugged landscape, repairing shelters, checking traps, and gathering food as if the night's battle had been nothing more than a minor inconvenience. To them, it was all routine. Rocks had fallen, debris had scattered, and yet life continued. The planet had taught them that survival demanded more than fear or strength. It demanded focus, strategy, and adaptability. High above, the remaining Xylarians regrouped aboard their ships. Zevter's eyes glowed faintly as he stared down at the humans. His warriors were battered, many injured, and all shaken. They had come to Kara 9 expecting to dominate a weak species, yet the humans had not only resisted, they had controlled the battlefield using nothing but instinct, ingenuity, and their environment. "They adapt faster than our weapons can fire," Zevter said, his voice low, almost a growl. "They use the world itself as a weapon. This is unacceptable." The Xylarians, trained for thousands of years in combat, could not comprehend the humans' ability to treat danger as normal. On their worlds, no species could survive the extreme hazards of Kara 9 even for a day. Yet here were humans, moving calmly among deadly terrain, turning natural hazards into their advantage. Zevter considered retreat, but pride and duty would not allow it. The humans had proven capable, but the Xylarians still possessed advanced technology and numbers. If they coordinated carefully, they could overwhelm the planet's defenders, assuming they could anticipate human strategy. The humans, meanwhile, had already begun preparing for the next wave. Lyra, still carrying her rope and climbing gear, surveyed the horizon. From her vantage point atop a jagged cliff, she saw the Xylarian ships beginning to maneuver, signaling the start of another attack. She did not panic. She did not scream orders. She simply nodded to those around her and they moved into position. Torin, the man who had toppled the boulder the day before, grinned faintly. "They think we're scared," he said. "Let's make sure they learn differently." With precision that seemed almost unnatural, the humans moved into the terrain, each person knowing their exact role. They used every cliff, tree, and river to create natural choke points, ambush spots, and traps. The Xylarians would not be able to approach in formation without encountering deadly obstacles. When the first Xylarians charged, the humans were ready. A river that had seemed shallow and harmless now roared with redirected currents, designed to sweep the aliens off their feet. A fallen cliff created a narrow canyon, perfectly sized to trap the towering warriors. Logs, rocks, and vines, simple tools to a human, became deadly weapons in skilled hands. One alien attempted to advance through a canyon, only to be pinned as a human rolled a massive rock from above. Another tried to flank along the forest edge, but hidden humans leapt from trees, entangling him in vines and pulling him to the ground. The aliens' energy weapons fired endlessly, yet every shot seemed to play into the humans' plan. Zevter tried a direct assault, sending a squad of warriors to engage the humans in hand-to-hand combat. The humans met them head-on, not with brute force, but with creativity and speed. Lyra swung a rope over one warrior, pulling him off balance while another human shoved a log into his legs. The alien stumbled and fell, unable to recover before another human blocked his escape path. Hours of battle passed, yet the humans never faltered. They did not tire, they did not scream. They moved with calm determination, each action deliberate and precise. Every obstacle they faced, every attack from the aliens, seemed like just another part of the day. Zevter watched in disbelief as his most powerful warriors were outmaneuvered by beings he had considered weak. Even when the Zalarians attempted to use telekinetic weapons and energy blasts, the humans adapted instantly. They ducked, rolled, and redirected energy using simple reflective surfaces or natural materials. One human cleverly used a polished rock to reflect an energy beam, hitting an alien behind cover. Another dug trenches that guided explosives back toward the alien forces, neutralizing several attackers in a single move. By mid-afternoon, it became clear that the humans were not only surviving, they were dominating the battlefield. Zevter, furious and bewildered, realized that strength alone would not win this war. Intelligence, adaptability, and courage made the humans superior in ways the Zalarians had never considered. A sudden scream drew attention to a cliffside where a young human boy had been cornered. 3 Zalarians advanced, confident in their numbers and power. But the boy did not panic. He climbed quickly, grabbing a rope and swinging to a hidden ledge. From there, he kicked a large rock that tumbled down, striking the first alien, while the others were tripped by vines strategically placed moments earlier. The humans had planned even for the unexpected, anticipating danger with a fluid, instinctive strategy. Zevter's mandibles clicked angrily. Impossible. They cannot be this coordinated. His warriors were beginning to doubt him, hesitating in fear, paralyzed by the humans' ability to turn every ordinary action into a calculated defense. The humans, sensing the alien hesitation, pressed forward. They moved as a single organism, each individual anticipating the next move, communicating with glances, gestures, and timing perfected over years of surviving Kara 9 natural dangers. One human guided a small group of aliens into a narrow canyon, where falling rocks pinned them in place. Another human used fire carefully, herding attackers into natural traps without causing harm to the environment. Zevter attempted a personal attack, using his telekinetic powers to lift a human into the air. The human did not panic. With calm determination, she twisted, kicked, and grabbed a rope dangling from a cliff. She swung, using momentum to free herself and land safely, while the alien crashed into a boulder below. Zevter could hardly believe his senses. A single human had outsmarted his most advanced abilities. As the sun began to set, the battlefield was littered with debris, but the humans remained mostly unscathed. Injuries were minimal and every human worked to help another. Where the aliens saw chaos and danger, the humans saw a challenge, something to solve. They treated near-death encounters as part of routine life, never losing focus or composure. Zevter finally called for retreat. The Zalarians had suffered heavy losses, their morale shattered. They had come to conquer what they believed was a weak species, only to find beings capable of turning impossible situations into ordinary routine. The humans had proven not just survival skills, but intelligence, creativity, and courage that no technology could match. The humans did not celebrate. They did not cheer or boast. They gathered their injured, repaired minor damages, and quietly returned to their daily tasks. The planet itself seemed to welcome them, every cliff, river, and forest assisting in their routines. To the humans, this was normal. To the aliens, it was beyond comprehension. Zefter's mind raced as he watched the humans calmly walking among the debris. They call this routine, he whispered again. A routine. They survive death as if it is nothing. How can any species be so fearless? The humans' routine continued through the night. Fires were lit to provide warmth and light, food was prepared, and sentries quietly monitored the horizon. Every movement was calm, deliberate, and purposeful. Nothing was rushed, nothing was careless. Every action demonstrated discipline, skill, and an unshakable confidence in life itself. The Zalarians, recovering aboard their ships, tried to analyze the humans' abilities. Advanced scanners, telepathic probes, and battle simulations yielded nothing. No strategy, no weapon, no plan could account for the humans' adaptability and intelligence. Zefter realized that his pride, his belief in Xylarian's superiority, had been shattered. The humans had not only survived, they had outperformed the most advanced species in the galaxy using simple courage, cleverness, and environmental mastery. By morning, the Zalarians quietly withdrew from Kara 9, leaving behind only a few scouts to report the impossible events. Zefter, burned by failure and pride, could not bring himself to speak. The humans had not attacked them unnecessarily. They had not sought glory or conquest. They had simply survived, thrived, and defended their home as any species would, but with efficiency, intelligence, and extraordinary skill. The humans, unaware of the cosmic admiration or fear they inspired, continued their lives. They hunted, gathered, repaired, and trained. Every challenge, every hazard, every potential threat was met with calm, decisive action. The Zalarians had learned that brute strength and advanced technology were no match for the combination of intelligence, adaptability, and courage that defined humanity. Weeks later, Kara 9 appeared calm and peaceful. The humans had resumed their daily routines as if nothing had happened. To them, surviving alien attacks was just another part of life. To the galaxy, humanity had begun a legend that would be remembered across stars. Zefter's report to the Zalarian High Command was brief and understated. He could not convey the full horror of what he had witnessed. There were no words to describe a species so capable of turning survival into routine, so skilled at using instinct, environment, and intelligence to overcome even the most powerful invaders. The humans of Kara 9 continued to live without fear, unaware that the universe had taken notice. They had proven that strength was not measured by size or weaponry, but by the courage to face danger every day, the intelligence to turn the impossible into the ordinary, and the determination to survive no matter the odds. And in the quiet moments, as fires burned under the alien stars and winds whispered through the rocky cliffs, the humans rested, trained, and prepared for the next challenge, confident in one truth that no alien could ever understand. Survival was not extraordinary. It was simply what humans did every day.